Here is the repeated text exactly as requested. Salient features of juvenile justice system of Pakistan. The juvenile justice system of Pakistan is governed by the JJSA 2018. The JJSA 2018 is very different from JSO 2000, and the following are some of its salient new features. 1. Determination of age. JS Act 2018 makes it compulsory upon the ranking officer in charge or the investigation officer to make an inquiry to determine the age of any such alleged offender who physically appears or claims to be a juvenile. Age shall be determined on basis of accused person's birth certificate, educational certificates, or any other pertinent documents. In absence of such documents, age of such accused person may be determined on the basis of a medical examination report by a medical officer. Ma 2. Right to free legal assistance. Every juvenile or child victim of an offense shall have the right of legal assistance at the expense of the state. A juvenile shall be informed about his right of legal assistance within 24 hours of taking him into custody. Pro bono legal assistance is usually provided to juveniles in Pakistan in some of the cases, mostly in big cities only. 3. Keeping the juveniles in observation home. This means a place where a juvenile is kept temporarily after being apprehended by police, as well as after obtaining remand from juvenile court or otherwise for conducting inquiry or investigation. Observation homes shall be made separately from police stations. So far, many juvenile accused are kept in police stations in Pakistan. They intermingle with the adult offenders, and this exposes them to the world of crime. 4. Separate challen and trial of juvenile offenders in juvenile court. The criminal case against a juvenile offender shall be pursued in a juvenile court. A juvenile shall not be charged with and tried for an offense together with an adult person. But if it is in the interests of justice to hold a joint trial of a juvenile and an adult, the juvenile court may dispense with the physical presence of the juvenile, and they may be allowed to join the court proceedings through audio-visual technology link. 5. Time-bound decisions. The JJSA 2018 also binds the law enforcement agencies and courts to decide the juvenile cases within 6 months. But this limit is rarely followed in Pakistan. 6. Juvenile rehabilitation centers. This is a special kind of prison established exclusively for keeping juvenile offenders. The convicted juvenile shall be confined to the premises till the completion of period of imprisonment or until they turn 18 years of age. Here, convicts can receive an education as well as vocational or technical training for their development, and includes certified institutions, including women crisis centers. Pakistan lacks juvenile rehabilitation centers where juveniles can be reformed and rehabilitated so that they can reintegrate and become a normal part of society again. Currently, Punjab has 2 functioning Borstal institutions or juvenile jails in Faisalabad and Bahawalpur. It has been observed that both these facilities have been staffed with officials who are unequipped and untrained to deal with juvenile offenders. These jails lack adequate sanitation, hygiene, and clean drinking water facilities. Sindh has set up 4 youthful offenders industrial schools, YOS, in Karachi, Sukkur, Larkana, and Hyderabad. They are housing fewer prisoners than their authorized capacity. Additionally, Sindh has 1 remand home, kind of observation home, in Karachi. But the population and crime rate of Karachi demand more such facilities. Both the KPK and Balochistan are yet to establish functioning rehabilitation centers for juveniles. 7. Disposal of cases through diversion. This is an alternative process of determining the responsibility and treatment of a juvenile on the basis of his social, cultural, economic, psychological, and educational background, without resorting to formal judicial proceedings. The complaint against a juvenile shall be referred to the Juvenile Justice Committee for disposal through diversion. For example, in the U.S. juvenile justice system, juvenile diversion keeps kids out of court and away from crime. The Juvenile Diversion Program is a way for juvenile offenders to have their case heard in an informal setting rather than in a courtroom. Part of the court's Partnership for Youth Justice, the diversion program has found success on the East Side and in the greater Seattle area. A. Compoundable offenses. All offenses, either minor or major, shall be compoundable for the purpose of diversion. For major offenses, diversion can only be exercised if the age of the juvenile is not more than 16 years. B. Juvenile Justice Committee. This shall dispose of cases through diversion within a period of 1 month from the date of the referral. The committee shall dispose of a case with consent of the complainant by resorting to different options, including restitution of movable property, reparation of the damage caused, written or oral apology, participation in community service, payments of fine and costs of the proceedings, placement in juvenile rehabilitation center, and written and oral reprimand. If the offense has been committed against a state and not against an individual, the committee may dispose of the case through diversion with consent of the concerned public prosecutor. The committee shall also perform inspection of observation homes and juvenile rehabilitation centers and may give directions to concerned persons for welfare and social reintegration of juveniles kept in these places. The Juvenile Justice Committee is set to consist of 4 members, including a serving judicial magistrate, head of committee, district public prosecutor, member of local bar having at least 7 years' experience, appointed by the concerned sessions judge for a period of 2 years, and serving probation officer or social welfare officer not below BPS 17. One thing that is missing is the presence of a qualified child rights activist that understands the plight of the underage victims and is equipped to deal with their issues. The JJSA says that juvenile justice committees are to be formed within 3 months of the enactment of JJSA and are to be established for each sessions court at each district. The committee will have the power to dispose of cases through diversion upon referral from police, the prosecution, or the juvenile court within 1 month from the date of referral. The committee will also inspect the offender's residential location and rehabilitation centers and will give directions to the officers in charge. Monitoring of the welfare, rehabilitation, and social integration of the juvenile offenders is also included in the functions of JJC. 8. Penalty for disclosure of identity and case proceedings. JJSA 2018 exclusively bars revealing the identity of an accused juvenile to the public without the authorization in writing of the juvenile or their next of kin. The SHO, investigating officer, or the juvenile court can also grant permission in this regard. 9. Special provisions for female juveniles. Female juveniles shall not in any circumstance be apprehended or investigated by a male police officer or released on probation under supervision of a male officer. A female juvenile shall only be kept in a juvenile rehabilitation center established or certified exclusively for female inmates. 10. No disqualification attached with. Here is the repeated text exactly as requested. Salient features. 10. No disqualification attached with conviction. A juvenile offender convicted under the provisions of the JJSA 2018 shall not suffer any disqualification attaching to a conviction of an offense under such law. 11. Preventive detention. No child shall be arrested under any of the laws dealing with preventive detention or under the provisions of Chapter 8 of the Code of Criminal Procedure.